pretty. Come along. Hey garden gals and guys, it's Steph with Tiny's Garden. Welcome back. Today I am here going to talk about what I am sowing for seed starting in March. Now I realize we're getting close to the middle of the month. Today is March 11th. However, I was out sick with the norovirus, that new stomach flu that's going around. 4 days out. So I apologize for the delay between a couple videos recently, but here's the good news. I'm only behind on 2 different seeds. So we're still in the race here. Not a big deal. We'll just improvise. Without further ado, let's jump right in. So the only 2 that I should have sown already but haven't are the ones that are 8 weeks out from the last frost date, which for me, based on my last frost date of May 2nd, is the week of March 6th through 11th. That's 8 weeks out until my last frost date. Remember, be sure that you're checking what your last frost date is in your area by a quick Google search and then counting back the number of weeks so that you know when to start all of these seeds. So the ones that I need to start as soon as I can, because they needed to be started in that March 6th through March 11th window, is Larkspur and Jacob's Ladder. Now, Larkspur is a cold hardy annual. It's stratifying in the fridge right now, so it has a cold period. That's what cold stratifying means, is that you're putting it in a cold place before sowing it. So it's in the fridge. I will get to that as soon as I can. The Jacob's Ladder is actually a perennial that I've never grown before. I got the seeds last year, so I'm not sure how well they'll germinate, but we'll give it a try. It does well in kind of moist soil, and my soil is consistently moist. So if I can get a really beautiful perennial, it apparently has some little blue flowers on it. If I can get one of those into my landscape and add a color there of that blue, that would be fabulous. So I'm gonna try and grow some of those as well. Now we're up to date. So March 13th for me is 7 weeks out until my last frost date. So all of these I need to start in either soil blocks or in my seed trays this coming week, March 13th through, what would that be? The 20th. This lot right here. Let's go through them. So this packet is going to be started 7 weeks out from the last frost date. This particular group is a lot of seeds that I used last year that I have left over. Specifically, Cosmos, mainly Cosmos, really. I have, I thought I had 2 zinnias. I guess 1 zinnia. Now there are some new Cosmos that I am starting later on, about more around 4 weeks out, just to do an experiment and see. But again, these are older seeds, so they're probably not going to have quite as good of a germination rate. They're still probably going to do pretty well, but that's why I wanted to start these first, see how many I get. You'll see with different companies on the back of the seed packets, it varies a little bit. I think on Florette's back of the seed packets for Cosmos and, is it Florette? No, on the Gardener's Workshop, which you'll see here in a second. For Cosmos, I believe she says 4 to 6 weeks out. A lot of these say 5 to 7. So because they're older, I'm gonna start them at 7 weeks, see how they do. And I'll also just have a succession of Cosmos then, which means that I'm starting one group 1 week, waiting a little bit, starting another group a different week. So I'll have a couple weeks between this grouping of Cosmos and my next grouping of Cosmos, which will be about 4 weeks out. So not even in March. You have to wait for that till April. This first one is a Renegade. It's Jazzy Mix Zinnia, and this actually says 4 weeks before last frost, so I'm really pushing this. But the reason is because I want to see how the zinnias do in the soil blocks. And I've got other zinnias that I'm gonna start later. So we're gonna give her a go a little early. Double Click Snow Puff, one of my favorite Cosmos. This one's from Johnny's, grew it last year, growing it again, love, love, love. I have to tell you, funny, last year was the first year I started Cosmos, and I wasn't sure that I was gonna love them as much as everyone else, and I did. So, so beautiful, especially the double click series that's a little more ruffly. Oh, fly my soul to the moon. Double click cranberry, not my favorite color, but still pretty. Cupcakes blush, another one of my favorites. Not a double click, but still so beautiful. Such a nice, gorgeous, dainty blush color. And fizzy white, another great Cosmo. Comment below and let me know how your Cosmos have done in soil blocks, because it is my first year using soil blocking and I'm curious how they're going to do. So if you've had really good success with them in soil blocks, comment below and let me know. Or if you've had really bad success, comment below and let me know. Then 6 weeks out from the last frost date, which is going to be March 20th. So that week of March 20th is when I need to start all of these seeds. Celosia! We have Sunday Gold Celosia, which I really enjoyed last year. A nice spike of yellow, almost an ochre color. Looking forward to these again. This is also leftover seed from last year, so we'll see how it does. Selway Red Celosia and Sunday Cherry Celosia, both from Johnny's. These are part of the ones that perished last year when I went on vacation and half of my seedlings died. The pain is still there, But I want to try again this year because they do look very pretty. Then some amaranth, Hot Biscuits amaranth, which got really big for me last year. I think for me personally, I do like the red spike amaranth a little better, but this one is still a nice, what's it called when it's an even color? A nice, gosh. Neutral, the word would be neutral. It's a nice neutral color that you can use in a lot of different bouquets. Coral Fountain Amaranth and Flamingo Feather Celosia. I really enjoyed this in the cut flower garden last year. A couple from Florette, Honeywort, which is a great filler. Beautiful blue-green type of leaves with the tiniest purple bluish flower. Oh, looking forward to these. One straw flower, because I do have straw flower that has reseeded itself year after year, so I get some from them. But straw flower is not my favorite cut flower garden in the garden, mainly because it grows really pretty tall, and I personally don't think it's the prettiest just standing there, but I do like it in a bouquet because of the texture. The texture is great, and they're such great dried flowers, even though I don't really dry flowers. But this particular color I thought would be really gorgeous, which is from Florette, and it is the Apricot Mix. Then two from the Gardener's Workshop. I just bought some seeds from the Gardener's Workshop because I saw them online and, well, you know, I had to have them. Really unique ones. I'm gonna save the best one for second because this one's gonna be fun. This one is Love in a Puff, and I've heard a lot about this. It's a vine. I wanna try and grow it on an arbor and see how it does, but you can use these in arrangements for a really whimsical look. It's just got a very dainty, kind of romantic touch. So I'm hoping they grow well for me. Love in a Puff. This one I think is gonna be so fun. Pumpkin on a stick. Pumpkin on a stick. It's an ornamental eggplant, and the variety is pumpkin on a stick. I think these will be great, obviously, for going into fall, but I'm so curious to see how they grow and develop. This is really just a fun one for me to try. It says here you can dry it for long-lasting fall decorations. So, that will be fun. I hope it works out. And the last group, planning all of these out 5 weeks from the last frost date, which for me is March 27th. That last week of March. Again, a reminder, I am in Zone 5B in the Chicago suburbs here, but remember, even if you're in Zone 5B, your last frost date might be a tiny bit different than mine. So remember to Google just to double check. Look at all of these brown seed packets. You know what that means. Florette, Florette. All of these are from Florette and will be started the last week of March. First, we have Bronze Beauty Calendula. That's a new calendula variety for me, so we'll see how she does. Then we have Zeolites calendula, which I've grown before and is so, so pretty. So fingers crossed it works for me again this coming year. Several new ones here. We have a California Poppy, which is the Thai silk apricot chiffon version. I have really no idea what I'm doing with California poppies because it's going to be a first for me this year, and it's different than Iceland poppies and regular poppies. And I can grow Iceland poppies. I can't really grow regular poppies here. Doesn't work for me, but I sure hope I can grow California poppies. Another California poppy, except this one is Thai silk pink champagne. Should be gorgeous. Corn cockle, another new one for me. This one is Ocean Pearls, and what almost an iridescent white color that flower looks like. Oh, this would be gorgeous. And then some celosia. So different celosia here. Texas Plume Summer Celosia. Really enjoyed this in the cut flower garden last year. Almost an iridescent pinkish blushish color on these plumes. Really pretty. And Texas Bloom Vintage Rose Mix for celosia. So this will be a new one. I'm curious to see the difference between those two varieties, but she should be a stunner as well. So that is it. That is how I am seed starting my stuff this March. Also in there, depending on the weather, because in my calendar it said I already would move my ranunculus out into the garden, but that definitely is not happening yet. It's still getting too cold, under 25 degrees Fahrenheit, which is too cold for them. I could put them in a low tunnel, but I haven't built one yet with being out sick and all of that. I think I'm still stuffed up, or newly stuffed up. What is this? So weather dependent, and when I get a high tunnel built, I will be moving those ranunculus out. Hopefully by the end of the month, beginning of April would be ideal. So fingers crossed on that. I've got updates to bring you with how all the rest of the seeds are going, how the ranunculus are, and the sweet peas that are out in the greenhouse, which are both looking pretty good. So stay tuned for all of those upcoming videos. We will see you in the next one. Remember to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel to follow along with all things garden. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Happy planting. Bye.